If you've looked at a video game at all in the past 20 years, chances are you've probably heard of the massively popular Battlefield series. While not quite being at the pervasive hyper-popularity of your Call of Duties or your Fortnites anymore, Battlefield is still an inarguable industry juggernaut, with a huge, super dedicated fanbase that stretches across its decades-long legacy. And after spending a while dwelling on the past with the confusingly named Battlefields 1 and 5, the series is getting ready to propel itself into the future of warfare and of gaming. This is why you should be excited for Battlefield 2042. Now, bear in mind that everything we've been shown so far is pre-alpha gameplay footage, and so is most definitely subject to change before the release date of the 22nd of October 2021, although that really isn't that far away, so we've not got to wait long, provided that there are no delays between now and then. Another little disclaimer to make is that I am a massive Battlefield fan, and I've played a lot of every game since Battlefield 3. So you know that I know what I'm talking about, but I'm very sorry if some of my poorly guarded enthusiasm rubs off on you. The obvious jumping off point and the main point of the marketing campaigns is the new ability to have up to 128 players on a server at once. That's double the previous player cap of 64. And when your series is most famous for large-scale warfare gameplay, populating maps with even more players is a significant development for the game. The real draw of Battlefield shines best through these massive high-concept battles, so with more people, the chaos and shifting dynamics of a game will definitely be more interesting and exhilarating, with the usual choke points of high populated areas getting even more wild and intense, and larger parts of the map being fully populated. If you're like me and do a whole lot of getting blown up, there'll be less risk of boring jogs from a spawn point back to the action. However, this does depend on the composition of the maps. Are they going to be way bigger than in previous installments, or are they going to be roughly the same size with higher player concentrations? These decisions may also impact the other, smaller game modes, as servers with purposefully smaller player counts could begin to feel empty. The devs may have made accommodations for this though, and a healthy mix of newer, bigger maps and the size we're used to in previous installments is probably to be expected. It is important to note though that these new 128 player matches will only be made available to those players on the next generation of consoles, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, as well as on PC. The game will still be coming out on the last gen consoles though, so those of us that haven't managed to get our hands on a new console will still be able to experience the game in some form. Although if a large portion of the map design has been balanced around this new higher player count, those of us that are left playing on the PS4 and Xbox One might have our experience affected by being capped at 64 players. So we'll just have to wait and see what the devs have planned, although I'd think that we don't have to worry, as I'd assume they've given ample thought to the experience that they're offering to the vast majority of players. Players on next-gen consoles will also have the added benefit of improved graphical capabilities, as the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X will be able to take the visuals of the game to the next level. This means the game will really be able to make the most of the Frostbite engine and all of its environmental destruction glory. A more immersive and impactful experience overall is likely to be expected, and you may be excited for the more vibrant and eye-popping locales of Battlefield 2042 after the very grey, murky experience that was Battlefield 5. While we're on the topic of gameplay environments, let's talk about the maps. Battlefield is known for its map quality, with areas that are always fun and lead to interesting, dynamic player interactions, with encounters that are defined by the terrain and dictated by players' attempts to gain the advantage. And it looks like Battlefield 2042 will be no exception. With interesting map layouts and locales, this new game could really make the most of its setting and the new higher player count. and from the trailers we've already seen, it looks like a greater emphasis has been placed on those big set pieces that really define a map's experience, like Battlefield 4's Siege of Shanghai and its falling skyscraper. This could definitely lead to games that shift and evolve as they progress, changing the landscape and adding some flair to the experience. That sandstorm we've seen in the trailer looks dope. It looks like it'll be more something that you can use to your advantage and play around with, while both teams have to try and deal with it. And the skyscrapers in 2042 look like they'll add a level of verticality to the Battlefield experience that's really not been possible before. Also, there's a rocket launch in the middle of one of them. That's just pretty cool. It looks like we're getting 7 maps at launch, and they all look pretty unique and cool. The devs have announced that they plan on a live service model for the game, so it's safe to assume that it will be supported for a long time, with many different DLC packs over its lifetime, with plenty more maps and content to play with. However, it might be possible, especially considering Battlefield's history, that this would involve a fair amount of paid DLC. Although we'll have to see how exactly the addition of content throughout Battlefield 2042's lifetime is handled, and I'll leave you to make up your mind on how you feel about it. From what we've seen from the promotional material so far, it looks like we'll be seeing a return of the tried and true Battlefield gameplay, with nothing major done to really shake up the system. And if you're a big Battlefield fan like me, that's probably a good thing. But if you are looking for something just a little extra in the experience, there have been some revealed changes that are unique to Battlefield 2042. Obviously, the series is moving into a relatively near future setting, which is a big change from the more recent historically based series installments. With this development, the minutiae of gun customization, ergonomics and application will of course be changing significantly, and this may make the gunplay more your cup of tea. However, more substantially, there will be some small additions that will add a little more flavour to the experience. The biggest initial one we've seen so far is the ability to change attachments on the fly using a hotkey type menu. This new system looks like it allows you to adapt to different scenarios you find yourself in throughout the course of a game, and even through the course of just one life. Added flexibility in a Battlefield game would be awesome, and could make you feel less stunted and better equipped to deal with anything that comes your way. And given Battlefield's history of UI experiences that are akin to solving a Rubik's Cube made of wet cement, I'm very glad that some attention is being paid to the smoothness of the player's experience. Even the HUD is getting a nice, sleek, futuristic new look. Although I can definitely see myself getting shot about 1,000,000 times looking at that damn attachment menu, because before every fight I want to get my red dot just right while I'm hiding in a bush or something. Another interesting little detail from the trailer is this shot of a tank being airdropped in. This could be a hint towards the score streak system that was present in Battlefield 5, although it could also just be that that's how the tanks look when they are deployed at the beginning of that particular game mode. Now this is just pure speculation on my part, but I think it'd be really cool to take a version of the point buying vehicle system that allows you to spawn a vehicle anywhere on the map, and allowing you to strategically deploy armour without having to break your stride. So you don't have to go through the whole process of respawning in order to get your tank, only to have to drive the bloody thing all the way back up to where the fight is. But overall, it looks like steps are being taken to make the game a much more fluid, adaptive experience, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to enjoy. Looking now at how Battlefield 2042 changes the individual player experience, we've already been shown some very interesting things in the trailers for the game. Obviously, with the new setting of the year 2042, Battlefield is taking a look forwards to a relatively futuristic warfare experience. And as can be seen from in-game footage and trailers, you don't have to worry about the game becoming awash with jetpacks and laser guns. In fact, the weaponry we've seen so far seems all very much inspired by modern day armament, with the odd light sci-fi flavouring here and there. So if you're a bit of a military arms buff, you might see a little less focus on near-modern small arms and vehicles and more exploration of the experimental cutting-edge areas of arms development. All that being with a healthy dose of straight-up cool, futuristic-y sci-fi creative vision on behalf of the devs. And hey, maybe they'll make the planes and helicopters so cool I'll actually learn to fly the bloody things at some point. We've also seen some very interesting new equipment that could have a significant impact on the way the game is played. Namely, there's a grappling hook and a wingsuit now, so it seems that they care about giving players more creative and agile ways of traversing the map, which is an addition that I definitely welcome. Compared to other shooters, Battlefield has always felt weighty and sluggish, even with Battlefield 5's updated movement system. This does help contribute to an immersive, sometimes claustrophobic military simulation, but it isn't exactly in keeping with the trends of modern FPS gameplay. So if this is a sign that the devs are looking to make the game more free and open, I think lots of gamers are going to be very happy. The ability to make more interesting plays is a great way to keep gameplay fresh and fun, no matter how long you play for. Also, there's zip lines now, so everyone's a winner. The most significant change we're going to be seeing to our individual experience with the game is the introduction of specialists. Moving away from the 4 core classes that have been at the heart of Battlefield's gameplay, 2042 will instead feature 10 specialists. These have been said to have taken inspiration from those 4 classes, however, will be defined by their unique specialty and trait, with the rest of the character being fully customizable. So no longer will you have what is essentially a heavy gunner, a sniper, an engineer and a medic, but instead a loadout system more akin to games like Call of Duty Black Ops 3, with flexible class-making options that are available to all players. Again, this shows that 2042 will be a much more flexible experience, which I think is going to be very refreshing to Battlefield players. At time of writing, 4 out of initial 10 have been revealed, with specialties that include the aforementioned grappling hook, a healing pistol, a sentry gun and a recon drone. So the specialists will all have unique gameplay mechanics related to equipment, but they will also have unique traits such as a movement sensor or faster movement while aiming down the sights. So it looks like they will be less of a fixed tactical role and more a character that meshes well with your particular playstyle and helps you to shine in matches. Think Rainbow Six Siege and a character's application to team-based FPS gameplay, just on a much larger scale. And like Siege and many other games at the moment, Battlefield 2042's live service model will include an updating Battle Pass system. I'm sure you're familiar with the concept by now, that will involve the release of more specialists over time. It's up to you how you feel about Battle Passes, but it has been announced that 2042 will feature both paid for and free content throughout its lifetime, with 4 seasons, 4 Battle Passes and 4 new specialists to unlock planned for its first year. We are also getting some interesting new developments in the game modes available. Of course, we can expect the classics like Conquest, the standard Battlefield experience we all know and love, as well as others like Team Deathmatch. We'll also be seeing the return of Breakthrough, the highly successful attacker/defender sector-based strategic game mode involving multiple objectives to complete across multiple locations. I think Breakthrough is an excellent application of Battlefield systems, and I'm very glad it's being brought over to the latest instalment, especially with the new higher player count. Battlefield 2042 even has some new game modes in store for us to play with. However, at time of writing, the exact details of these 2 significant additions to the gameplay available have not yet been released. More information will be released soon at EA Play Live on the 22nd of July. But for now, here's what we already know. The first new major game mode is called Hazard Zone, which, and I know this might be difficult to believe due to the name, but according to a Eurogamer article written by Martin Robinson after an interview with a dev of the game, Battlefield 2042 will not feature a Battle Royale game mode. Battlefield seems to want to move away from that particular game format, potentially after the performance of Battlefield 5's Firestorm, and will instead be focusing on innovative new gameplay experiences, and we're all excited to see the new directions that they are taking the series in. And we've been given no information whatsoever on the second new game mode, not even a name has been announced. But remember to tune in to EA Play Live on the 22nd of July if you want to stay up to date on all the latest news. Maybe I could even make an update video sharing my thoughts on the new information as it is released in future, so please let me know in the comments section if that's something you'd be interested in. Now, there has been a controversial decision made for Battlefield 2042, in that there will not be a campaign mode included in the game. Really, the stats aren't very good for the player base of campaign modes, so they seem to be wanting to focus on their multiplayer experiences. A fair few people do seem upset with this. To be honest, I love a good super schlocky FPS campaign mode every now and then, but that really isn't the focus of these games. However, the devs have confirmed that there will be bots that can populate servers, which means no getting put into a game on your own anymore, and you at least have something to do while you wait for the server to fill up. But this also means that if you want to get to grips with the game, or if you just prefer to play it solo, you at least have something that you can do, and with much more potential longevity than Battlefield campaigns usually have. So there you have it, everything you need to know to see if you're as excited for Battlefield 2042 as I am. Thank you so much for spending all this time with me. I really hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope we get an awesome new installment in the Battlefield series. Please let me know in the comments your thoughts on everything we've heard so far, and also let me know your hopes and your predictions. What do you think we're going to see in the Hazard Zone and the mysterious new game mode? Also, it would mean a lot to me if you could let me know in the comments what you thought about this video, and if you liked it, please give it a like and feel free to share it wherever you'd want, because it would really help me out. I've got other videos on exciting new releases and other areas of gaming that you might enjoy too, and you can subscribe, hit the bell icon and follow me on Twitter for updates. For now though, thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye.